What's up, movie buffs? How you guys doing this Saturday morning? I'm Jeremy, and movies are terrible, and I'm here to talk with you about the season 1 finale, as well as kind of recap the entire season of Marvel's What If, the first animated MCU show. Was it a success? What worked the best about it? What are some things that maybe didn't work? Are you looking forward to a season 2 and more? Those are things we're going to be talking about here in just a few moments. First of all, how y'all feeling? I think I think your energy level's like right here, and I'm going to need you to be right here. So y'all are almost perfect. You're almost there. Just boots, that little extra bump. And that's what I'm here to give you this morning, guys. I'm going to give you that extra little bump of energy that you need. And you know what I think is going to help? You know what I think is really going to bring the energy up a little bit? If I turn these jack-o'-lantern lights on. It'll just take a second. We'll see if it's an effective method for making people just a little bit more hype. So just give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. I think we're there. Dead on the inside. Nick Mayfield, King of the Hills 34, Jay Wolfie. How you guys doing? All right, so yeah, I have been doing a weekly recap of the series, like a review for each episode with Holden. There were some scheduling conflicts this last week, so we weren't able to get to it yet, but I would anticipate that you guys will see that finale review here in the next couple of days. But I have been really enthusiastic about doing these Saturday morning lives. Ooh, that sounded bad because it was bad. Like I rolled the little tendons in my elbow. Anyways, ow. I've been really excited about doing these discussions on Saturday because I get to hear the perspective of all of you and get to, kind of chop it up and discuss some of the things that resonated the most with audiences. So it's always something I enjoy to do. I didn't want to make an exception for this week. Also, next week we're going to be talking about, I don't know, some other shit, something else, horror or something, hopefully, But in the meantime, we are going to break this thing down because I really ended up enjoying this series. And it seems that from what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing with my ear to the street, people seem to be enjoying it pretty good. I haven't heard of too many people that are like, What If sucks. In fact, the closest that I've heard is Caleb Miles being like, the animation's ugly. And that in itself is how you know that Marvel's What If is a good show. Like that simple. I don't feel like they're illuminating all that much. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. I think I got like white balance on or something, or exposure. Anyways, man, if this was in 3D, y'all would be bugging right now. Be like, oh my God, he's gonna put his hand on my nose. All right, so let me pull out the outline of each of the different episodes, and I'm just going to touch kind of basically on a few of the highlights for me, some of what my favorite episodes are. Although I can tell you right off the bat, what ended up being my favorite, and especially in retrospect, was the Doctor Strange episode. Episode 4 was, in my estimation, the most well-rounded episode from an emotional perspective, as well as having a very significant change on a character that I really enjoy. And this series made me like Doctor Strange even more. And I think that's by design, right? Because Doctor Strange is going to be playing a very big role moving forward, I believe, in the next few movies. And he ended up being the MVP, ended up being my favorite character in the What If series. I love what they did with Doctor Strange. And man, he turns into like a Lovecraftian nightmare elder god or some shit. You know what I mean? It's really cool. So I like what they did with Doctor Strange. I feel like that ended up being my favorite episode. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, And another one that I quite enjoyed was episode 8, the episode 7. It was the Thor party episode. I ended up thinking that one was very good. And I know that it was silly and might not have had the same amount of lasting consequences maybe as the other storylines did. But I think it was a lot of fun. So just want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. What's up, Pedro? Mark McKeever, good morning. And AK Watch, how's it going, man? How's it going? Kind of hoping they tie some more stuff into the upcoming movies. They might have, Pedro. We will have to wait and see how lasting the implications of what happened in this season were in terms of the movies. I'm don't have any thing to base this on, but I have a feeling that we are going to see some of the ramifications of things that happen in here. I just don't know that it's going to be necessary that we saw What If to understand it in the movies. And I think that's something that that Marvel's going to have to navigate, is how to both make it seem new and exciting for audiences that didn't, like, if you go see an MCU movie and something happens that had already been alluded to in this animated series, how can you make it both feel cohesive and new for audience members that didn't see the setup, while still keeping it acknowledging to the fans that did watch it, like, hey, you've already learned a little bit about this thing here. God, that is a terrible way of expressing a concept that I'm hoping you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe you can write it more succinctly in the comment section or even the live chat. I don't know. But you get what I'm saying though? Like if they introduce Kang in Loki, but I haven't seen Loki, and then I go to the movie theater and they introduce Kang in Quantum Mania, it's got to both make sense to the audience member that has and hasn't seen the What If series. I think that was a little better. Let's see. Yeah. The magic armor was an interesting thing. What's up, Colby? How you doing, man? DJ Alex R, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. So, episode outline. Here we go. The first episode was Captain Carter. It was a what if Peggy became a super soldier, right? What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? And each and every one of these episodes kind of starts off in a world that we recognize, and then it introduces the element that diverged the timelines, essentially, right? Caused a different branch in the multiverse. Oh, that would have been cool, Folly. I agree. If they would have grabbed Spider-Man from the Zombies universe for the team up at the end, that would have been, I agree. I would have loved to see Spider-Man fighting along the Avengers in that lineup. So the Hydra spy comes in and intervenes before Steve is able to take the super soldier serum, which forces Peggy to go in and undergo the procedure. Instead, she comes out as Captain Carter. And this episode starts off being very much like the first Avenger. Again, it's like there's the familiar aesthetic that each of the episodes build on. And this one was like the first Avenger, but Peggy is Captain America. And then Steve gets like a Iron Patriot. Is that the name of the suit? Hydra Stomper. And that's pretty cool. It's Iron Patriot's a different character. Sorry about that. I know about Iron Patriot a little bit. I know that he's got red, white, and blue armor. And that's about it. But yeah, so I like this first episode. I did feel it played it a little too close to First Avenger, right? Like, too many of the beats I thought were similar. But I appreciate what Marvel was doing with this pilot episode and like kind of easing us into this concept, right? It starts off in a way that's pretty rudimentary. Like, you don't have to stray too far from the internal logic of that first movie. And I like the fact that we've got all of our voice cast returning. You know, Dominic Moynihan. Is that who it is? That voices Howard Stark, young Howard Stark. I really like him. I like that character. I like the way they represented him here. But yeah, to see the What If animated style and how it is clearly so influenced by both comic books, as well as Disney house animation style. And then, as Mark McKeever also pointed out to me, I believe it was Mark, it could have been somebody else. If it was, I apologize. But that the old Superman animated series had a very similar use of light and shadow, right? Like the highlights almost like they seem overexposed, almost like there's a glow coming off of the white. And then there's a nice, it's like cell shading, right? Anyways, seeing the characters that we know and love from the comics and the movies being kind of hybridized into these animated versions of them, I thought was cool because while you can see superficial similarities to the actors that portrayed them in the movies, I think they kept the features vague enough to where like it doesn't necessarily have to be Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow because she's voiced by Lake Bell. You know what I mean? Because while like 90% of the cast is actually their live action counterparts, in some cases they had to replace those voice actors. And I think that's another thing that they did very well. But yeah, watching this first episode, it's like we get introduced to what the What If world is going to be. And I thought it did a good enough job of it. I'm going to be honest, after episode 1, I wasn't like over the moon about the series, but T'Challa becoming Star-Lord in episode 2, I think is what kind of made me realize like, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun, because this episode started to really introduce a bunch of far out versions of characters that we previously knew much different versions of, right? Like, I really like this take on Nebula. It was cool to see Thanos as like a chill dude who still thought he had a pretty good idea about like eradicating half of life in the universe. It was fun. I really liked the second episode. I think it's funny that like if Yondu would have picked up T'Challa, how much better the galaxy would have essentially been for it. I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool to see the Collector as this, you know, big villain, actually like an intimidating, imposing character, and all of his little collection, you know, is another fun Easter egg game of like, oh, I recognize that thing. Oh, look, oh, wow, cool. So this one really catered to the fan, I think, in a way that for me, the first one didn't. And it made me more excited to see what was coming on the heels of that. I want to hear what you guys are saying a little bit about these real quick. Haven't seen all of What If yet. Wasn't a huge fan, so I started taking it more slow. Gonna head out now. Jeremy, be terrible. Thanks for coming by, man. Doctor Strange was the MVP for sure. Think we'll see those protection spells in No Way Home? I wonder about that. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief here where you have to just accept that when someone gets all of the stones, they immediately get really dumb. Yeah, I think that's fair. Animation was great. Hearing Chadwick Boseman was bittersweet. I wish Zombie Thanos would have gotten a little minute fight against Ultron. Sure. Yeah, I can understand that completely. It was a little, I would imagine, minimalize the stakes of that particular Infinity Saga with just one little laser slice. But I also appreciated that the tone of this show is actually like darkly comical, heavy irony. And they leaned into it in a way that I was actually kind of surprised. And to me, that's the What If comic books always had this like zany nihilism to them, I think. And the show did that in a way that I was actually surprised. I mean, ultimately it ends up being hopeful, but let's be honest, a lot of the episodes is just Tony Stark getting killed over and over again, right? Let's see. Felt Ultron and the Stones were really dumbed down. In my headcanon, whenever someone has all the stones, they get so intelligent they no longer think like a normal person, which actually makes them kind of dumb and susceptible to tricks. Yeah, I like that. Oh, Leo, that's a good start to the morning already. Got you some maple donuts and made it back to be here morning, y'all. I'll eat a donut for you. Fantastic. Fantastic. True story. We've got these Publix raspberry filled fresh baked donuts. They got like a little like vanilla icing on the top. Woo! Set you free, dude. They are so good. They are so good. I had one and I want 1 dozen more. But I'm not gonna do it. Not yet. Once I get off the air, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat 12 fucking raspberry filled donuts. Oh boy. Oh boy. Seems like there should be at least one universe out there where a good guy has the stones and that person could come solo Ultron. Yeah, I think that's a very, very valid point. You're using too much logic though. That's the problem. Get out of here with that. We need to make these series entertaining, even though that would be a super entertaining episode. Like, what if Ultron wasn't a dickhead and then he could come fight dickhead Ultron, right? Both of them have the stones. I mean, what would that even look like though? We saw so much crazy shit in the final episodes. Super cool stuff. So I'm gonna get there. I know I'm kind of jumping around. I'm gonna talk a little bit about so yeah, I really like the second episode. I feel like it got me more primed up and looking forward to what came next in a way that the first one really didn't. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes was episode 3, and that was a very cool episode. That's the one where it's the week 1 of the initiative, where in the MCU, Shield is going and recruiting each of these different characters. In this episode, there is a secret assassin that is going around, and each and every time Nick's trying to recruit somebody, they end up getting smoked, right? We see the death of Iron Man, Thor, Clint Barton, Natasha Romanoff, who else? Oh, Bruce Banner. I think that's it. I think that's the original lineup. So they all end up getting killed. It's a whodunit murder mystery, right? And it was actually pretty good. Like, once you find out who the killer was, what happened tracks pretty well, right? Like, I thought they pulled off the murder mystery aspect pretty well. They laid clues throughout where you actually there's nothing that contradicts itself. While I do wish there was a little bit more to say, oh, this has gotta be Hank Pym. I think when it got to being Hank Pym, you were like, yeah, okay, they did set that up well. So I really liked that episode. It was cool seeing Loki show up, just riding really deep with all of the Asgardian army showing up to Earth. Like, either you give me my brother back, or we're gonna just fucking wipe you off the universe. So I really liked episode 3. In fact, I liked episode 3 more than I liked episode 2, which I liked more than I liked episode 1. So far, I'm like, man, it's just getting better and better, right? Episode 4, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? As I mentioned up at the top, this was and is my favorite episode. And again, even better than the one before. Holy crap, this is an amazing show. Can they keep this up? After losing his girlfriend in a car crash, Doctor Strange travels to Kamartaj, I don't know, and learns the mystic arts. He discovers the Eye of Agamotto, which can manipulate time, but is warned by the Ancient One and Wong that doing so could destroy reality. Dude, Doctor Strange is a series of Wong being like, hey, dude, I don't think that's a good idea. And Stephen Strange being like, yeah, well, I know better than you. And then Wong being like, bro, told you so. Right? That's what No Way Home is, right? It's, look, dude, do not do this stupid spell so that people forget who Peter Parker is. And he's like, I won't. I'm not very good at impressions. I won't. Know what it sounds like? I won't. And then he walks through the little portal, and then he looks at Peter's, Doctor Strange looks at Peter, and he goes, and he winks at him, and I'm like, what a dickhead. That doesn't even seem like something Doctor Strange would do. That's what I was thinking when I saw the trailer. But then I remembered, like, the whole Doctor Strange, like, that's the whole point of the movie. And then in What If, it reminds you, like, no, he is so cocky. He's so sure that everything he does is going to fucking work out, that he just disregards anything that sounds like reasonable advice, right? So that kind of defines his character. And in this episode, it becomes a very tragic trait because try as he might, he can't seem to bring Christine back. And in doing so, he ends up succumbing to some of his darker impulses, which leads him to like sucking the life essence, the life force, the magic force out of all of these sorcerer supremes from other dimensions. Like one's like a snake, one's like a demon, one's like a little lawn gnome. The little lawn gnome look kind of cute at first. One of them is the Shumagorath from episode 1, which is what Peggy ends up fighting when Hydra brings that tentacled creature in. So like that was one of the first concrete crossovers, right, where we're starting to see. And I should have mentioned the Watcher in each and every episode is starting to become more of an active participant, more integrated into the actual scenery, and even eventually in this episode interacting with Doctor Strange. But yeah, this episode I felt it was dark and it was tragic, like in the traditional sense. You know, it was a tragedy in a way that gave it a little bit more dramatic weight or depth than it still, to my estimation, that was the most nuanced and the most I guess emotionally engaging of the series. So love episode 4. Thought it was fantastic. I think maybe Strange was reserved in Infinity War Endgame because he knew he had to act a very certain way for the first successful outcome to happen. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Daryl? How you doing? I enjoyed most of the episodes, but I think the reason Doctor Strange episode was my favorite was because the story felt like it had structure when some of the other feel quick and messy. I think that's a really good point. I think that's a really good way of saying it as well. Episode 6 was my fave, but I judged and loved the whole season as one whole show. The whole show was fantastic, and I can't wait for more and what they got to show us. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So the Watcher was supposed to get closer and closer as the series progressed, but due to COVID, the episodes got switched around and a Gamora episode delayed until season 2. Ah, interesting. I did know that there was the Gamora episode with the Thanos armor. I remember hearing about it. So there was obviously supposed to be 10 episodes in season 1. It was, yeah, Gamora just kind of was there, so that actually makes a lot of sense. Everybody else in the episode, there was a setup to why they were there, except for her. So I didn't even think about that, but absolutely, I can see that. So yeah, man, episode 4, super cool. And then episode 5, what if zombies, man? And I like Marvel Zombies. I like the art style of it mostly. I didn't read all of the comic books, but I've seen panels, I've read a bit of it. And I know like the Marvel Zombies are intelligent. They have conversations, they carry on basically as if they were just regular Avengers, only they've got these, dark urge to consume flesh. And the series, the animated series, What If, it did that, but it also gave them more traditional zombie traits, which I can see how fans would kind of not like that because like it kind of contradicts the very nature of zombies for them to be like these slow, lumbering, speechless zombies who can also cast magic spells and accurately shoot a bow and arrow or like whatever ends up happening throughout the episode. That said, I liked it. I thought it definitely owes a huge debt of gratitude to Zombieland because it was kind of framed in the same way that Zombieland was. However, while also integrating the way that Spider-Man Homecoming was framed through Peter Parker kind of vlogging it, so like it felt like a Spider-Man movie. that was also Marvel Zombies. And I thought it did that pretty well. There was a lot of humor in it, but I felt that it nicely counterbalanced the amount of grimness and kind of gallows humor that was in it. Because yes, we see the most violence in this that you'll ever see in a Marvel movie, and it's okay because they are zombies, and their blood, I believe, is a different color, so that ends up, softening the blow for the moral police, you know what I mean, who are going to come and be like, oh, that's too violent. But I thought they pushed the envelope. I thought that they did some things that I was surprised, like, holy crap, I can't believe they would do that to that character for this audience. Because let's be honest, the audience, all ages, you know what I mean? But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this episode. I do think maybe the Paul Rudd stuff might have been a step too far, but at the same time, like, it didn't bother me. Like, I think I'm just kind of along for the ride on these, and have had a difficult time being very critical of them because they are so short, and I end up walking away having enjoyed each and every episode. So it's like, I mean, I guess I just don't have expectations about the way that these characters should or would act in this particular medium. Now, if you showed me in the next Spider-Man movie, if Tom Holland's Peter Parker is just constantly doing things that are out of character, in my perception, I would be like, it just seems like that character is inconsistent from the way that they were before. But in the What If universe, this is the first time we're being introduced to the majority of this versions of these characters. So any difference is, to me, can just be chalked up to not that, the nature side of the nature versus nurture argument. The reason why they are slightly different here is because they were bullied slightly less at school or whatever. Oh man, wouldn't that have been nice? You know what I mean? Wouldn't it have been nice to have been bullied less in school? You guys? Just me? All right, cool. I'm just kidding. Right, that close-up shot of zombie Tony was surprisingly gruesome, but it was great. Yeah, for sure. I think maybe Strange was very oh yeah, okay, I read that one a little bit ago. Nerd. I got 3 seasons of Tales from the Crypt last night. Ooh, buddy, can't wait to jump into those. Talk about little 30-minute anthology series. Good shit. I don't think the first season's very good, but if you guys haven't seen Tales from the Crypt and you like anthologies, it's almost Halloween. Wouldn't think it was a bad time to check those out. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? Man, if episode 4 was not my favorite, then episode 6 is my favorite. I feel like Killmonger is probably top 5 most interesting characters in the MCU. Top 3 most interesting characters in the MCU. Maybe the single most interesting character in the MCU. No, I would think that Tony Stark would probably be the most interesting character. But goddamn, dude, Erik Killmonger, as portrayed by Michael B. Jordan, is just an incredibly compelling villain. He just plays it so fucking perfectly, where you end up, and I mean, and I know that people love to say it about the Joker, when you start off idolizing the heroes and then you grow up and you can relate with the villains, whatever. But like Killmonger, for real, you're like, nah, like whatever. Yeah, like I buy it. You know what I mean? Like, sure, okay, why not? Sounds good. And I think that's one thing that they did really well with him, is like he is definitely a good character. And that's what makes this episode work so well. Killmonger ends up rescuing Tony as a means to an end because he's got this idea where he wants to use vibranium to create a combat drone. And he double crosses it's such an interesting thing, and I can't speak too in depth about it because it's not my experience and shit. But I thought it was really interesting that in the process of achieving his end, he sacrificed the two people who he claimed to be trying to free from the chains of oppression, right? Like he kills T'Challa and Rhodey in one scene in just a couple of minutes. It's like, damn, that's the whole Black MCU. Like, who's even left at this point? I guess Sam Wilson, Captain America. That's cool. But you get what I'm saying? It's crazy. But yeah, I love that episode. I thought it was badass. Yeah, maybe Tony should have been smarter, but he was clearly a drunk in this episode. So like, I like how they did it. I thought it was an awesome episode. Yeah, I agree. I think maybe people didn't like it maybe because it was such a grounded episode and not like a crazy what if scenario. Yeah, I agree. Oh, it got hate? I did not realize that. I did not realize that. Number 7, what if Thor were an only child? Dude, if episode 4 made me like Doctor Strange a lot more, episode 7 made me like Captain Marvel a lot more. And I've said this, especially if you've watched any of my content, you probably already know my stance. I think Captain Marvel is one of the top 3 weakest MCU movies. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I legitimately didn't enjoy it very much. And I'm a mark for 90s nostalgia. I love Marvel movies. It bummed me out that I liked it as little as I did. I say all that to say, but hear me out. I'm not a sexist piece of shit. Well, I am a sexist piece of shit, but I'm not as bad a sexist piece of shit as you might think I am. I actually like Brie Larson in Infinity War. I like her in I like the way that they use her in the Avengers movies. And then I like her even more in the context of this because she was such a perfect counter to Thor. So I thought that this was Captain Marvel is better than Let There Be Carnage. I'm with you on that. I just felt like in Captain Marvel, she was not allowed to be complex because she had to be strong. And I think that's a problem with writing strong characters over writing interesting characters, right? And because of that, she was very static. She didn't have a lot of growth from the beginning to the end. Whereas you look at Iron Man and the way that what transpired changed him in such a way. This was a little different. But anyways, I say that to say, like, I don't dislike Captain Marvel as a character. I actually like her quite a bit more because of the What If series. I thought seeing her just going to blows with Thor was fantastic because we know how powerful Captain Marvel is, and we know how powerful Thor is. I mean, Thor and Captain Marvel would be like, they could have ended the Infinity Saga, I think, quicker than almost anybody else. I mean, I think we can all acknowledge that Doctor Strange and Wanda are very, very powerful too. When I start to think about the most powerful Avenger, it makes my head start swirling because like Hulk, he just gets stronger and stronger. And he's indestructible. So in theory, wouldn't that mean he's the strongest? But then what is strength worth when Doctor Strange can just like teleport you to another reality, right? But then can't Wanda do some similar shit to that? Doesn't she have kind of like wonky, like magic, right? And then you got Captain Marvel, who is extremely powerful. She got like plasma blast. She can fly around. She's like Superman, right? So if Superman, or in this example, if Captain Marvel's like hitting Hulk with her plasma blasters, is that just making Hulk stronger so that no matter how much Captain Marvel hits Hulk, he can just always hit her harder? Or does that even matter? if she plasmas him and just blows him out into the vacuum of space and he just keeps on going and keeps on going. But then you got Thor, and he's a god. You know what I mean? He should be like the most powerful being, because gods have got to be as powerful as at least as a Hulk, right? But then we saw him get his ass kicked in Ragnarok. It's hard to know, dude. You get what I'm saying? It's like I'm at a stalemate just trying to make sense of all of it. What's up, Prime? It was all right though. It was all right. I do agree it was dumb. So yeah, you guys let me know who wins. Who wins? Yeah, Vision could have ended the Infinity Saga pretty quickly. Prime, exactly. I feel like that if you just walked in for the post-credit scene, you got the monetary value out of the movie. I mean, it was kind of fun seeing fucking Woody Harrelson ham it up, but yeah, there wasn't a lot to it. Okay, Alex, DJ Alex R says Strange is greater than Wanda, is greater than Hulk, is greater than Thor, is greater than Hulk, is greater than Captain Marvel. All right. If you insist, I almost feel like the way that the MCU plays it, it would be Strange is greater than Wanda, is greater than Captain Marvel, is greater than Thor, is greater than Hulk. But we're just playing a guessing game here. You guys let us know what let's hear the ranking. Just, it doesn't even have to be from that list. Let us know who are the most powerful Avengers. What is the order of the most powerful Avengers? TMS SMT says Wanda is stronger than Strange once she trains. In what continuity? In whose story arc? Who wrote that particular version of the characters? You know what I mean? Maybe so. Also, by the way, Wanda is stronger in the comics than Strange, or just stronger than her counterpart? I feel like Corey, I feel like that's the way they kind of portray it in the MCU, but I also feel like it would be so easy to just change it depending on what you want the outcome to be. But that's kind of my take. In the MCU, the character is as strong as needed to tell an interesting story. In the comics, it's different. I agree with that 100%. Strange is just Wanda with years of training, really. Okay, that's what I thought. That's kind of how I looked at it, is that their power set is very similar. But then isn't Wanda's like a mutation? I mean, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. Wanda has greater inherent ability. Yeah, like unlocked potential. That's a good point, Mark. That's a good point, bro. Like seriously, Black Widow and Clint are the true MVPs for just even being able to hang. That's like why I thought in my version, if I were the screenwriter in charge, I would have been like, these are your two main characters right here. It's the relationship between Clint and Natasha that the entire MCU is built upon, and they're agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Nick Fury comes up to them and they're like, all right, guys, this week, I've got an initiative for you. Dun-dun-dun. Avengers, assemble, right? And then it's like, all right, tomorrow's mission, I need you guys to go and round up Bruce Banner. Just want you to know, it's going to be a pretty dangerous mission. Ba-dum-ba. Am I pitching this? Dude, this is the reboot. Like, here in 5 years when they reboot the entire MCU, this is the way that they do it. Fucking, all right, tomorrow's mission, I need you guys to go and secure the Asgardian god of thunder. Dun-dun-dun. Looks like we're going to need to bring an umbrella. Well, looks like we're in for some nasty weather. Ba-dum-ba. That's the new theme, by the way. No, Hawkeye wasn't smart enough to realize he didn't have to jump into the pit of zombies in order to shoot them with an exploding episode. We know what you meant, though. We get it. We get it. He got it. There's a story in the comics where Hulk and Thanos are the last living creatures in the universe. In the MCU, Tony was able to knock out a tooth from Hulk. Yeah, yeah. World Breaker Hulk is cracked. Yeah, it sounds like it. Deadliest What If character is Hank Pym / Ant-Man. So yeah, really. Wow, that was a long tangent on the to say that I thought episode 7 was a lot of fun. It was the most Looney Tune-esque out of the entire series. I felt like it had a reverence for animation as a medium in a way that previous episodes hadn't. It kind of honored the legacy. A lot of the backgrounds, especially in the desert, are very painterly and almost look like there's something right out of Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, which is kind of the vibe that you get through this episode. Plus, there's some great fucking DBZ style action scenes. I love how like the animation will go from super smooth and like a high frame rate to sometimes it'll just be like one frame and the character's just like moving across the panel, you know? Really cool shit. They used the animation medium to highlight action in a way that I thought was dynamic. And I just thought this episode was funny, like the frat bro version of the Ice Giants. And I always wondered why Loki looks the way he does. This is something I always wondered. Why did he look like that? Why does he look like a person? I mean, was it Freya's magic? Freya's magic? I've got DBZ on the brain now. Was it Freya's magic that kept him looking fresh, kept him looking Hiddleston-y? Episode 8. What if Ultron won? Man, what a fucking episode, dude. What an episode. This one was super cool too. Odin changed baby Loki. The new battle cry, Viva Las Vegas. Yeah, it was pretty good. I feel like some episodes you could tell they were getting more into their own style, where to me episode 1 looks kind of bland compared to what they end up looking like later on. Yeah, I agree. It was like a gateway into this world. I feel like the chains were still very much intact and keeping it almost constrained. And then each episode is just kind of more breaking loose and just getting louder and more distinct. He can change how he looks, can't he? Maybe just turn more human looking to fit in more. Yeah, I guess he can. I mean, he does it all the time. Is that a Loki? Yeah, that's Loki's like ability. Okay. That's a good point. Ultron, having taken the Mind Stone and Vision's vibranium body, has defeated the Avengers and launched a global nuclear holocaust, killing most of humanity. When Thanos appears on Earth to complete the Infinity Gauntlet, Ultron bisects him and takes the rest of the Infinity Stones, using them to create a massive drone army with which he wipes out almost all life in the universe. Yes, this is the episode, the bottle episode, in which my fan theory of Hawkeye and Black Widow being the lead characters in the MCU comes to fruition. And I thought it was really cool. It is very like Terminator-esque, right? Like the machines have overtaken. We've got a couple characters that are humanity's last hope. They're definitely more grizzled versions of the characters that we know. One of them's even biomechanically enhanced. You know, Clint's got a arm that looks to belong to one of the Sub-Ultrons. What else do they call Sub-Ultrons? Sub-Ultrons, I don't remember what else. Those little robot army. He's got one of their arms. They're more like armored up and shit. But anyways, this was a cool episode. I like the way that they handled it. I feel like this version of Ultron is so much more fucking intimidating than James Spader's version of Ultron. And I think Ross Marquand actually voiced Ultron as well as the Red Skull. That dude is very, very good as a voice actor. He plays somebody on The Walking Dead, can't remember. I haven't watched all the episodes of of The Walking Dead, but he's a very good voice actor. He does both Red Skull and Ultron very, very well. And this version of Ultron is just like much more threatening, imposing, feels more dangerous, right? Like Thanos. Thanos didn't crack a whole lot of jokes. He did be like, well, this brings a smile to my face or whatever. You know, like he did have a little bit of wit to him, but I felt like Ultron was overcooked. And you know, when Holden and I were doing a review, he prefers James Spader's take on the character to the What If version. And I 100% understand that, especially if that's your frame of reference to who Ultron is, or if that's who Ultron is to you. But I remember watching Age of Ultron and being like, too jokey, too much. I get it. He's part of Tony Stark's subconscious or whatever, so it makes sense in the context of it. I can see how they would justify it. Too much Whedon for me, man. Like, tone down the Whedon. Bring it down a Whedon. Hmm. Yeah, the invisibility cloak. Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so yeah, that pretty much gets us to the finale. So first up 8 episodes I thought were fantastic, with 4 being the standout to me. And I'd say after that, if Thor were an only child, I don't know though, man, because episode 6, what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark, was pretty cool also. Those were a couple of the highlights. And then the last episode's really cool too. Obviously, a lot of people had been speculating, and it was absolutely accurate the entire time. What if, while being an anthology series, was a miniature version of a Avengers team up kind of deal, right? The Guardians of the Multiverse in this case. And so each and every one of the episodes, while they basically existed in their own, they did, each of them existed in their own timeline. Owatu seeing all of these different versions of these characters being brought into reality, the way that we perceive it, I guess. And goes through and cherry picks the versions that he needs for this particular mission to battle Ultron, because Ultron and Owatu are now in an adversarial position, right? Like, Ultron gains so much knowledge that he becomes aware of the existence of the Watcher. And once Ultron becomes aware of the Watcher's like, fuck, I'm not just like watching anymore. Now, like, the threat of the very fabric of existence is on the brink. I've got to bring together a team of heroes. And if what if Thor were an only child made me like Captain Marvel even more, it made me like Thor just a little bit less, right? It's not like she bitched him or anything like that, but they went real silly. Like, I like funny Thor. I thought Fat Thor was hilarious. And this Party Thor is fine. But they set him up as a dummy so that they could pay him off as a dummy, because he's pretty much worthless in this last episode. He ain't worth a fuck. Like, he's just a dummy, and that's fine, you know. Like, that, it's been going this way for a while, but he just officially became a buffoon in this episode to me. It doesn't ruin it, but yeah, to me, I was like, oh no, that's too much. That's too much. Tone it down. Party Thor. And then, oh yeah, and let me get Black Panther Killmonger. I'm sure he will really come in handy in a fight like this. But there's a reason why. It makes a lot of sense, actually, once you see the episode. They needed just somebody. But yeah, when you look at that team up, it's like, one of these things, actually two of these things are not like the other. Because Gamora and... he causes a disturbance that lures Ultron. Um, yeah, he does. That was really cool. The hundreds of Mjolnirs, but that was Strange's doing, you know? But yes, that was a very cool image as well. I thought it was super neat. Proving that no amount of education can change a person. Okay, so the Watcher recruits Strange Supreme. Obviously, you gotta have a Strange Supreme in a battle like this. Captain Carter. Okay, I guess we need heart. Every team needs a leader, I guess. Okay, sure. Star-Lord T'Challa. Okay. Party Thor. Yeah, it makes sense. You got to bring a god in if you're gonna have a fucking fight like this. You need the heavy hitters like the Black Panther, Killmonger. Okay, sure. And Gamora, really, dude? Why not just grab like 5 different versions of Doctor Strange? I was on social media yesterday, and my buddy Alex, Alexander Hampton, you may have heard of him from Momentum Media. He posted one of those memes, and it's like, I don't know, 20 Marvel characters. And it's like each of them has a different dollar amount assigned to them. And it's like, you have $100, build your team. And like, Doctor Strange is worth 50. Wanda Maximoff is worth 50. Down on the bottom tier, you've got like Black Panther, Hawkeye, you know, they're like $10 each. And I'm like, you just get Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, because nobody else can do shit in that situation. Like, what are you gonna do? I don't know, man. But anyways, this is the team that we get. This is the team that we get. And it's fine. It's fine. It's not, and I this is not a knock at any of these characters. I'm not being diminutive of the characters themselves. I'm just saying the power balance is so insane in some of these things. It works on the page so much different than it were like Batman being a member of the Justice League. I'm sorry, Batman is by far the most interesting character of that group. He just gets thumped out of existence though, right? Like in an actual fight against these like cosmic beings. It's like some Kirby shit, right? They just get thonked out of existence. Speaking of Kirby, I think it's very worth mentioning the Kirby Crackle. DJ Alex R, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. I really do appreciate that. Always a pleasure to hear from you and talk some movies and TV. Who would win, Superman or Batman? That's a really good question. Really good question. Not yet. There will be. There was just a scheduling conflict. That's all. So we will probably be doing that this week. Uatu had a plan. Don't question him. LOL. 100%. There's a reason why this team was chosen. And it is totally not just out of essence of what a screenwriter decided to make it be. But it worked out. Fucking far for me to say, right? Like, what do I know? I would have picked 2 Doctor Stranges and the whole reality would have ceased to exist, because if it did not go down this way, it would have not happened at all. It worked out perfect because they needed somebody to fulfill each role. One of my favorite shots in the episode, though, was when Peggy goes low and Widow goes high and they clip Ultron from the top and the bottom. Super fucking cool, dude. Like, there was some really cool animation stuff in it. And yeah, the seeing each of their different power sets being utilized was badass. I think this was a very dynamic episode. But oh yeah, I wanted to mention the Kirby Crackle. That's something that that the show definitely homages, and they integrate it into the animation really well. I know most of you are familiar with the Kirby Crackle, but it's such a distinct thing that got used in comic books moving forward. And not a lot of people probably even stop to consider the influence that he had on just the style of comic books in the first place. That right there. The Kirby Crackle, baby. That would be creative differences, King of the Hill. If the excuse is creative differences, that means me and Holden have murdered each other. That would be the huge falling out. Hmm. I think the TVA being fucked with this whole reason the show exists. The universes didn't exist before that. I think it's kind of confusing. Yeah, or they did exist, but independently of each other, or something. The Kirby Amaze Balls. I've never heard it that way before. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, it was weird how Awatu, I can't interfere, and then Peggy's like, "Oh, I really wish I could be with Steve." And Awatu's like, "Too fucking bad." And then Black Widow's like, "Well, I really wish I didn't have to go back to apocalyptic wasteland where I'm the last fucking human being in existence." And Awatu's like, "Don't worry, I can drop you right in the middle of this fucking battle right here. That way you have some sense of purpose for life. Because if you ain't fighting, you ain't shit." That's what the message there is. I don't fucking know what was going on, but yeah, I can understand because like Peggy is going back to a place where things exist. Black Widow is going back to a barren wasteland, which is just kind of a metaphor for her entire existence. So like, man, she's had it tough. She's had it tough. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. There's not a repercussion for interfering yet. I don't think it's just a one choice creates this new universe thing. I think they all exist in parallel regardless. Yeah. Isn't that like kind of what string theory is, right? You oughta knew the spoiler to come. You oughta knew the spoiler to come. Like you oughta. I don't know if that translated well. Like you oughta know. You oughta know. I don't know. I'll workshop it. For now, we're just gonna muscle through it. Time is presented as a circle with new universes branching in the past, present, and future. I think that other universes did exist, but all other realities were destroyed by Eliath. What's up, triple F triple? Yeah, you guys, I don't even know. Like as I hear this, I'm like, I don't know. Um, so I guess Steve is like in the Hydra Stomper in the post credit scene. Wonder who's in there. So yeah, all in all, I thought this was very, very fun. I would love to hear, and I have been hearing a bit from you, but definitely let me know favorite episode if you haven't. Curious about that one. And now we got to talk about season 2, right? We got to talk about season 2 because this is an inevitability at this point. And in a way, I like it because I feel like there is a place in the multiverse in the MCU that we need animated properties. Like I'm a huge fan of animation and I love that while it's not traditional 2D animation that at least somebody is carrying the torch for the tradition of 2D animation. Like I said, I know this is different. And it shouldn't demean what it is. It's just, the fact that there is some sort of cool 2D animation going on right now. I appreciate that. So I'm excited that there are more What If episodes to come. We know we're getting a Loki season 2. And if many of you who join me on Thursday nights, you've heard a lot of my perspective on this stuff before. I know that others join me on Saturday morning, so this might be your first time hearing this. And this is a question that I often posit to myself as well as to the audience. And now's no different. I'd love to hear your take on it. But how much time are you willing to invest into Marvel? We've got Hawkeye season 1. We've got Falcon and Winter Soldier / now Captain America and Winter Soldier season 2 coming. We've got Loki season 2 coming. We've got What If season 2 coming. We've got I know there's like spin-off series with like, I can't remember which one it is, but there's at least one other or two other series coming. I love WandaVision because it was one season, one miniseries. I really like miniseries. Yeah, She-Hulk, that is definitely one. What am I trying to say? Sorry, I lost the plot there for a second. So if you are a diehard Marvel fan, like your love of Marvel trumps everything else, I think this is still completely manageable, right? Like if I stopped watching 5 other series, I could pick up 5 more series. Then you've got the movies, you know, the theatrical experience, and obviously we're going to continue to go see those. Like I'm just are you a Star Wars fan? If you're a Star Wars fan, you've got well, Visions just now happened. That was super cool. Those are short little nuggets, nothing, not a major commitment there. The Bad Batch, Mandalorian season 2. We've got the Boba Fett series coming out. We've got something Rangers coming out. We've got I don't have Ahsoka. I don't have it in front of me, but you get my drift. That's 7 shows, 1 episode a week. Each episode's an hour. 7 hours of your week dedicated to each respective show. You got 6 Marvel shows, 6 Star Wars shows. How much time are you willing to give? And there's not a right or wrong answer. If I, as a enthusiastic but not fanatical consumer of this type of content, it gets overwhelming to me because it's like I still want to watch horror movies and comedies and fucking, you know, like other stuff, independent movies, dramas, like all sorts of other stuff, science fiction. I want to go see Dune, you know. I just I feel like time is like the most valuable resource, and at some point it gets to be a very big ask, and that is why that is where my contention with fandom is stemming from. It's not a lack of quality. It's not that I doubt that all of these things are going to be fantastic and made by passionate creators. I just, as a consumer, I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of consuming. That's a lot of consuming. When I was a kid, the What If Phoenix had survived shook me. Oh, that definitely a good one. 2021 is too much Marvel, if that answers your question. There's a season 2 for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think so. Open ideas of somebody in Loki season 2 taking stones outside of the TVA. Agatha Harkness, they just announced that. Miss Marvel, that is correct. Don't forget, a lot of this stuff was supposed to be spread out between 20 and 21. I want to see more Vision, kind of interested in Armor Wars. Oh yeah, Armor Wars is another one. Instead, it all got dumped into 2021, so it's kind of a lot. Yeah, stuff like the stones just doesn't work in the TVA. Eternals release in a month, might be the first return to the theaters. I'm very excited about seeing the Eternals in the theaters. Y'all see they're shutting down the Disney Channel, so you have to pay for Disney Plus. Did not see that. Smart move on their part, I guess. I think the Eternals will just look fantastic on big screen. Couldn't agree more. Um, Speaking of Star Wars, people need to watch Clone Wars before Ahsoka. Gotta watch Clone Wars, man. 7 seasons. Don't forget Rebels. Don't forget about Rebels. And let's see, the Eternals in 3D. I'm sure there will be a 3D version of it. I need Fantastic Four and Mutants in the MCU stat. Isn't Fantastic Four on the schedule? Or was that a fake image that I saw? I don't think it's officially on the schedule, but I do know that I think they're inching towards it. I think Kevin Feige's been talking about it openly. Let's see. In August, Disney updated its 2023 movie release schedule and revealed that we're getting 5 MCU movies in that year, but I don't think it says which ones. One of the latter 3 is likely Fantastic Four in 23, but that's according to CNET. Most reliable news on the internet. I don't have a problem with the amount they produce as long as I don't have to watch everything to follow the movies. That couldn't agree more. That's at the core of my feelings on this matter, is exactly that. Is as long as I don't have to consume all of it to understand any of it, I'm good. If in order to enjoy the next Star Wars saga, I'm going to have watched all of those things that I just now said, I will not be watching the next Star Wars saga. And again, not because I don't like Star Wars, because I just how, dude. And I get it. Like, if you love something, you can put in the work. I thought about restarting Game of Thrones now, just because we got the new one coming in about a year, and I've seen Game of Thrones probably 3 times, some episodes up to 5, 6, 7 times, but if you love it, you'll make time for it, I guess. And I have a pretty broad spectrum of interests. I try to make content, consume content, make music, consume music. I guess that's all content, but like I try to stay diverse. That way I can communicate with lots of different kinds of people and people that have different interests, and at least be able to have a peripheral understanding about their, culture and fandoms and things like that. So I love the MCU. It's the thing that I've been the most consistent of a fan of for the longest. Like, I started going and seeing the Marvel movies in 2008, and ever since then it's been like a ritual to go and see every single one of them. And I started saying it with Star Wars once Lucasfilm bought Star Wars. It's like, I want these things to be events. I want them to kind of maintain enough of that scarcity so that it feels like I'm a part of something, instead of it becoming a weekly pilgrimage back to the theater because I'm obligated to go see the next movie so that I understand the one after that. It becomes more, like I said, like a pilgrimage rather than like a destination, Which I guess there's a destination in all pilgrimage, but you get what I'm saying. It's like you're just having to go back and having to go back, because if you don't, you're not going to get what you need to go back the next time. I don't know if that makes sense, and I don't know if you guys share that perspective, but that's just kind of something that I'm trying to reconcile as a fan and figure out like what it is that I'm willing to give. And I think that answer is different for everyone, and I don't think there is a wrong answer. If you are a person that is like, look, I'm a fan of the MCU, I don't give a fuck about the next horror franchise to come out. I don't care about the next Band X's album comes out. I'm a Marvel fan, so I spend my time and my money watching Marvel stuff. That's 100% valid, And then on the other side of the coin is Caleb, who does not watch any Marvel stuff. And I think those are the only people that are truly wrong in life. You know what I mean? I think we can all agree that the only people who are really missing out are people like Caleb. Let's see. Sorry, I lost the plot again. Going through the chat real quick. I don't have a problem with the amount. Okay, that puts me back where I'm supposed to be on track. As a YouTube creator, I can see how the number of shows can be overwhelming. I think that's also a fair assessment as well for people who, and me less than anybody. Like I don't feel a lot of pressure these days to make something for everything that comes out. But yeah, there are some channels out there that are like, their whole thing is doing discussions on each of these shows. So yeah, I'm sure it will be very overwhelming for some people. Don't forget about Rebels has me dying. Yeah, I seen it. I seen it. I still somehow find time to watch multiple people's reaction videos to all the Marvel Star Wars content. You going to see Lamb? Yes, I cannot wait for Lamb. It looks fantastic. And in fact, I in other animal themed titles for movies news, I got Pig last night. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm definitely going to. Have you tried D-Box? I haven't. I mean, I've heard of a D-Box, but I think it's a different thing than what you guys think it is. Rebels was a blast. I've heard good things about Rebels. Rebels was good. Don't care who hates me. I think people like Rebels. Remember when they said that nothing on Disney Plus series you will have to know to understand the movies, but like everything that has happened is very important. Yeah. Yes. That's sending mixed messages. Like you don't have to, but if you don't, you're fucking missing out. Oh, so then I do have to. Fuck y'all, man. Fuck you. I take it back. I have had some sort of D-Box stuff at amusement parks where the seats were moved and they spray you with mist. That ain't what that was, dude. They were spraying you with something with that D-Box. No, I am familiar now that you guys said it as well. It's like 4D or whatever I think they call it. Why would I not watch all the series? You can. I think Black Widow is finally on D+. Need to check that out with the wife. I agree. Love Black Widow, especially Yelena. Don't understand the hate for it. Yeah, I think I thought it was a good movie as well. No amount of content is too much content for me. Like I said, my experience is just like Disney type parks and stuff. And I was really young, also still had big screen, not the goggles, 3D headpiece. To not watch the MCU films simply because they're MCU films is weird. They're really missing out. Wrong. Even wrong, I would say. Free with subscription, no longer requires additional premium. Black Widow. Blind Wave puts out multiple videos a day, like more than a full-time job. Fuck yeah, dude. For people that have the luxury of being able to do it for a job, I am so bummed because I got to start going back to my full-time job next week. I've been doing it from home, for 2 years now, and man, have I got comfortable. I do my job really well from the house, and then I also have time to do other things when I have a little bit of downtime, but now I don't. Yeah. Not stoked. Rebels is maybe 10 good episodes. The rest are childish filler. Anything to do with the supernatural nature of the Force is amazing. Different reactors show different levels of knowledge while watching. Great to see a variety of perspectives. Black Widow was, for me, almost worst of MCU, but still an okay movie. Shang-Chi blew me away and didn't have any hopes for it. I've got kind of the same take on both Shang-Chi and Black Widow. They are really good movies. Both of them are very good. Shang-Chi's a little better. I think that's fair to say. Both of them have the same problem to me, and it is that the last 30 minutes of it is just all sound and fury and almost no real emotional uh, investment for me, unfortunately. Not that there's no emotional investment, because I do like the characters. I'm just like, okay, I see you swinging, I see you flying, I see you jumping, I see you shooting, I see you. So for me, it's like I think both of them started off much stronger than they ended. That's all I'm saying. But it is a symptom of the genre, and it's probably why Civil War is one of my favorite MCU movies. Because if you think about the third act of Civil War, think back in your mind to the third act of Civil War. What makes Civil War different from all them other movies? Yeah, I like that, Leo. I'm definitely going to have to go and renegotiate. I'm definitely going to have to renegotiate. Yes, correct. That is correct, DJ Alex R. Two characters that you love. Two characters that we grew up, over years with. The struggle is the stakes are personal. The struggle is one of, ideologies. It's interpersonal, and it weighs more than Sokovia. You know what I mean? Like the weight of that fight is heavier than Ultron lifting an entire city or an entire country or whatever off of the earth and threaten to drop it, because we don't know those people. It's like the bigger it gets, the less I feel, right? Like any of those Transformers movies, you know what I mean? It's like if everything is world ending, then none of it fucking matters. And I thought that Doctor Strange did a really good job of subverting that as well, while still acknowledging the need for spectacle. It actually reverse exploded the entire city. You remember that? That was pretty fucking cool. It all happens like in Rewind, which was neat. But I really like Civil War for that. And then there's the conflict between Zemo and Panther being resolved with what? With a conversation. You know what I mean? You got these two characters that you love. You see both sides of the perspective, and they're beating the shit out of each other, and you're just like, oh no, this doesn't feel good. I like both of them. Why don't they stop beating each other up? We're in fucking Batman versus Superman. I'm like, God, I wish Superman would just fucking kill Batman. This Batman is a miserable fuck. just throw him to the moon, Superman. Fuck this guy. He's an asshole. But in Civil War, you're like, oh no. And I just like the whole thing. Zemo tries to kill himself to get out of it, because Zemo was like a casualty. He was collateral damage of these big, huge, climactic battles that seldom have any sort of actual significance to them. It's like human life means nothing in those movies. And then to see like how it affected Zemo and his path for retribution, and how it made him essentially the very same monster that he was claiming to be against. I think Civil War is a very smart movie. I think people get there's a lot of conversations to be had about, what it is that a certain audience member looks at or looks for in movies. And I feel like, for me, Civil War was one of the most nuanced and the most complex emotionally. So I really enjoy Civil War. And I wish that more movies would take a cue. Like, I really like the fact that Spider-Man Homecoming, the end of it, Spider-Man Homecoming, yeah, the end of it was just between him and Vulture. Like, in the little amusement park. That was great. Like, I would so much rather it be characters that matter. I don't know. That's my take. Ragnarok will be hilarious until I die. I love Ragnarok. That movie is so good. Civil War is the best MCU movie, and I'll hear no argument on the subject. It turned the hero of the saga into a villain for about 30 minutes, and it was amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking tragic, dude. So good. I think Infinity War is my favorite, and then Civil War. Very good choices. Civil War has the best team up before Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War and Endgame felt awkward and out of place and not as great as Civil War. All none better than the comics, I'm sure. I don't like Civil War anymore. I agree, and the ramifications were huge. If Cap and Iron Man were friends in Infinity War, I don't think Thanos wins. I love either of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies best. It just takes superhero movies to another level, proves it's not all big explosions. In fact, most of the MCU ages sort of poorly in my eyes. Don't know if it's the cheesier costumes or what. TMS, SMT, I have felt that way as well. To me, these movies aren't endlessly rewatchable, but incredibly enjoyable. Especially the first time in the theater with a bunch of people. That sounds diminutive because I can go back and watch them, but I get what you're like about how they age. Not do they get less good over time, but how do they actually age? I think because they are so of the time that that ends up showing in retrospect, right? Like they're so of the time that they end up being of the time. So both a blessing and a curse for films. Ragnarok is freaking hilarious. Funny is Batman versus Superman, Optimus Prime versus Bumblebee, and Civil War all in the same year. They have an idea. Hey, let's put two good guys against each other. Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about the Optimus and Bumblebee part, but you're completely right. Ragnarok was such a great surprise. I'm such a huge fan of Taika Waititi. Civil War reactions are my favorite reaction videos. Oh, wow. I need to go down that rabbit hole, Casey. I'm going to do that on Twitch. Matter of fact, that's a really cool idea. So I don't know if I'm going to do it today or tomorrow, but I'm going to do a Twitch stream where we go through and watch some reactions to Civil War. And what else? Maybe we'll watch some reactions to the Red Wedding. I think that's fun. If you guys have any other suggestions, let me know. Movies Are Terrible on Twitch. You head over there. I just now hit affiliate, but I do multiple live streams over there every week as well. So if you're not subscribed, do me a favor and do that. Oh, and while I'm on the whole like self-promotion bullshit, do me a favor. If you want to see this channel grow, if you care at all, just click the like button. It takes you about 2 seconds and it really does help with the algorithm. It shows that there is interaction, even if there's not a whole lot of views per video. So thank you for that. If you do it, and if not, suck an egg, you fucker. No, I'm just playing. Suck 2 eggs. Ah, shit. I'm gonna watch those for sure. That's crazy. TMS SMT, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it, man. Pleasure to hear from you. Civil War was integral character development of Iron Man and Cap. Patrick McCabe, what's up, dude? Took my dog to the dog park on a nice day. It's beautiful out there. I need to go take the drone out after a little bit. That sounds nice. Infinity War reactions are top tier. Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching some of those MCU reactions. That'd be cool. My favorite reactions are the Mandalorian finale surprise, as well as the big in-game moments from in theater. That's interesting. So if I don't want to see you grow, press the thumbs down. I think that actually works too, Mark, unfortunately. I think engagement's an engagement is an engagement. So whether you do it or not, either you like it or you don't, and it's still, I mean, one's hurtful, the other's nice, you know? So you just take what you want from that, dude. I need to turn notifications on Twitter, or Twitch live streams. Yeah, definitely do that. It's follow on Twitch. Yeah. He's right about that. It is follow. What did I say? Subscribe? You can do that as well. You can do that as well. So yeah, in summary, in conclusion, What If was a pretty cool show, man. I ended up being a big fan. I started off like a moderate fan. It was kind of like I was taking that pilgrimage, right? Like, all right, there's a new MCU show, gotta watch it. And I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, it's like a MCU cartoon, it's fine, you know. And I watched the second episode and I was like, all right, this is getting pretty good. And as I continued to watch, I continued to become more and more invested. I think it's smart. It's MCU quality. It's what you come to expect. It's got the cast and the characters that we know and love. It's got storylines that are both familiar as well as ones that are dramatically new. So it rewards us for our loyalty, right? Like there's little things that only the fans are going to pick up on, and I enjoy it. I think for the most part, seeing these different versions of these characters was exciting and interesting. And while maybe I thought that uh, it was a net negative on Thor in this particular series, it doesn't affect the way that I feel about him in the movies. I mean, like I said, these are different versions of the characters, and to see them all come together was super cool. Doctor Strange definitely ended up being the standout to me. I also have a much better understanding of Uatu and the Watcher and his role in the MCU as a whole. I think Jeffrey Wright is like perfect casting for that character. He's got such a great voice for it. And I've always been a fan of the anthology format. In fact, you just heard me talking about Tales from the Crypt a moment ago. It's one of my favorite things to week go and watch a different self-contained story in a genre that we all love and be able to talk about it. So I'm actually quite looking forward to season 2. And as of right now, I do intend on watching it. Same with Loki season 2. I loved Loki season 1. So I'm having a lot of fun with these. It's a blast to be able to discuss them with Holden. It's a blast to be able to discuss them with you guys. So I do appreciate you being a part of that. DJ Alex R, I think the Doctor Strange episode was my favorite. Up until the last couple episodes, What If seemed totally like standalone episodes. They tied it together perfectly at the end. What If is MCU series that has a high rewatchability factor for me. I agree. I agree with you 100% on that. How would you rank each show so far? That's a really interesting question. I know it's cliche, but they all bring something so dramatically different to the table that it's difficult to compare them. I guess what you're asking is probably way simple, more simple than I'm making it, is which ones did I enjoy the most to the least? You know, I think What If may have no. That's recency bias. Let's see. Man, this is tough. What If is going to be my favorite. And the reason why is because it's got the most episodes, the most consistency of quality, and episode to episode, the most uh fan servicey, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's tough. Um, hey, Christopher Branch, what's up, dude? The next one after What If would be shit. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I guess. Falcon and Winter Soldier was really cool, man. I like the fact that it dealt with themes of race and class. I also like the fact that that divides people. I like hearing people say, keep politics out of my comic books. Keep politics out of Captain America Civil War. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Keep politics out of Captain America Civil War. Keep politics out of fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, I mean it's a political thriller, but like keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Don't talk about shit. I want my fucking entertainment to either reinforce my bias or just shut the fuck up. You guys feel me? Doesn't everybody feel? Either say what I agree with or don't say nothing. Oh man, shit. Um, I like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought it was good. I like both of those characters a lot, and their interplay was fun. It was the most like a 90s mid-budget action movie of the lot of them, and I feel like those are fun. I feel like there's not a lot of that anymore. And for the third act conflict, we got a monologue about systemic racism instead of two magical witches flying around in front of a green screen shooting different colored plasma blasties at each other, which is fun too. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed that, but if I had to pick one or the other, I'm going with the more thoughtful thing. Not that WandaVision didn't have some amazing shit in it, because it was super exciting and it was way out of the pocket. It was unlike anything that I'd ever seen before, while also having elements of things that I had seen before, like Pleasantville and like The Truman Show. And, like there's elements that were borrowed, but it was done in a way that was new and fresh, and I really enjoyed it. So, okay, we got What If, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then I'm going to go, it's tough, dude. I'm going to go WandaVision. WandaVision. This is fucking impossible. Okay, WandaVision was super great because Elizabeth Olsen. Come on, dude. Like, do I even need to say more? Come on, dude. You know. She's great. And I also really like Paul Bettany as Vision. And I liked all of the Vision stuff in WandaVision quite a bit. And I also like that it was sort of an exploration on the way that grief can affect people, and trying to cope with that while also having this insane level of power. I thought it was really interesting. It was good. And worth saying, I'm just talking about better of great, right? Like none of these are bad. It's not like the one at the bottom of my list is not good. It's just not, it's less good to me than the other ones. So we got What If, then we got Falcon and Winter Soldier, then we got WandaVision, then we got I guess, damn, dude, Loki was really good. Loki was really good too. It's tough, man. Okay. It looks like, yeah. Yeah, I agree. It is hard to rank What If against the other shows because it's seldom connected, right? Like all the other ones are one big storyline, and this one ends up that way, but it's not throughout. Overall concept behind the story of Loki was amazing. It really was. It really was. Mark, I think I'm gonna go see Bond today. I might go tomorrow, but you're definitely gonna go this weekend. I'm just waiting, dude. Cannot wait to see Ana de Armas in anything she does. I have watched The Long Halloween Part 1 on HBO Max, and it is fucking sweet. I liked all the shows. I kind of wish What If had been live action. New Bond was fire. Oh, dude, can't wait. Cannot wait. I'm a big fan of the Bond movies now that ever since Daniel Craig took over as the lead character. I never grew up watching Bond. I really like the new ones though. So I've been looking forward to this for fucking forever. Like I feel like as long as I've been looking forward to the last Mission Impossible movie. Favorite Loki, then WandaVision, then What If, then Falcon and Winter Soldier. Skyfall is still your favorite from Daniel Craig. So far I'm still a Casino Royale guy. I think just kind of like Batman Begins, like seeing that version of Bond, I was like, oh shit, we're doing something different now. Skyfall did have the best villain. Um, yeah, I'm not married to my ranking, guys. I put a lot of thought into that, and I still don't think I did it good. I could just as easily put What If at the bottom of that same list. You know what I mean? I feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier had something to say. WandaVision said something. Uh Loki was like heady and cool and had massive impact on the MCU. And What If was, like I mentioned, fan servicey and fun and like a rewarding experience for people who have stuck it out. And all of those approaches have value. And when I say one of them had something to say and the other one said something, I feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier was created at a time when the messaging like was relevant, and like with WandaVision, uh, we didn't need another story that was an exploration of a person's grief, but it was commenting on that. So that was cool. And then Loki, I mean, I guess we could say it's about like growth, self-acceptance, but isn't that every story? You know what I mean? Like, aren't they all another version of that? That's what a character arc is. And What If, I think, had the least to like actually say as far as commentary on anything. But as far as being escapist fun, it was cool. What If would have been my favorite if they topped it all off with James Spader as Ultron. Carly Morgenthau let Falcon and Winter Soldier down for me. She was much more irritating than anything. Yeah, I mean, it was like, to me, Falcon and Winter Soldier was like, it was vital without being all that nuanced or like, it was nuanced. It just, it had to kind of do it with like padding, because I have to keep coming back to it. It's not made for the most sophisticated people in society. It's made for those people, you guys obviously, and then also children, right? Like so it's got to water down the big ideas so that they can be digestible to somebody who's might not be on the same, like, you know, intellectual doesn't have the same life experience even, you know? I prefer the John Walker stuff, and I love Falcon Winter Soldier finale though. Seeing Sam in the suit was awesome, and I love the messaging. I think you know what I mean, Colby. I think we all know which people I'm referring to. The John Walker stuff was dope, dude. I'm glad you brought that up. That actually really did put the show over the top for me, as far as just like, I don't know, man. It felt the most real, you know? Like, it felt the most real. And I don't know that that's necessarily I don't know that that's necessarily what you want out of superhero movies. If not, I completely understand, you know? WandaVision explains why Vision might return to the movies. Yeah. I'm hyped for Hawkeye. I can't wait for that one too. It looks really good. And yeah, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. John Walker started out great, but I didn't care for the fist bump shit at the end. I get it. I kind of, man, he was a tragic character. There's a lot of those, you know? I think they do tragic characters very well. I think creating these type of villains that are just like a byproduct of a system is cool. Like, it's pretty smart for what it is, you know? Christopher Branch, I liked everything about the new suit except the headpiece. Yeah, man, that's such a 90s comic book, early 2000 comic book thing that looks dope on the page, and it's just hard to pull off in real life. It's hard to pull off in real life. I know they actually augmented it with CGI because it wanted to like buckle, obviously, because things don't fit like that. They pulled it off well. They pulled it off well. I like Sam, and I like him as Captain America, and I don't care so much for the suit, but like whatever. Like, celebrate the W's, I guess, instead of shitting on the fact that the costume could be a little cooler. Um oh yeah, I get your point, Colby, and I think that's something that we see time and time again with these episodes of What If, or these shorter bridged seasons of television where like everything should have a little bit more room to breathe, but they're serving a lot of masters. There's a lot of different things that have to be considered when creating a show, and pacing is a big part of it. And again, making something that's like crowd pleasing to everybody, that sometimes I think some of the character stuff gets left on the cutting room floor in favor of making something a little more dynamic, something a little more uh, edge of your seat kind of thing, I would imagine, because all of these MCU shows have moved at a clip. WandaVision didn't seem in a hurry to go anywhere, and I kind of respect it for that. A lot of people are like, I didn't really like the first couple of episodes, but then I started liking it, and for me, it was like, I really liked the first couple of episodes, and then it kind of got a little weaker to me as it went along. Again, it just really showcases and highlights the fact that we are all seeing these things, we're all seeing the exact same images, hearing the exact same sounds, but the way that we take that information and relay it is always going to be a little bit different. And I don't think that people are wrong to think contrary to what my thoughts are. I think it's super fucking interesting. I love hearing from you guys about this stuff. So I'm looking forward to see where Julia Louis-Dreyfus villain will go. Big fan of hers. Yeah, yeah. Sharon Carter must be in future content. She was written out of The Resident. I don't know what The Resident is. I'll have to look into that. The suit will get an upgrade once he gets that sweet, sweet movie money. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Christopher Branch. It definitely has a Die Hard vibe to it. The new Hawkeye trailer. Isn't there a beef between the two Hawkeye actors? Who? Uh, Renner and Renner and Haley Steinfeld. They got beef. I don't know the order of the shows, Nick, but if anybody does, definitely let us know. In WandaVision, I kept expecting God from Monty Python to show up and scream, "Get on with it!" um, they still talk on Instagram. The Resident is a TV show that has been starting in for 4 seasons. Oh wow, she's been starring in for 4 seasons. Wow, that Jerry's daughter, by the way, Jerry Steinfeld. Yeah, dude, I think so. I think so. How do you search for that? Would you say conflict? Hawkeye actors conflict? What was Jeremy Renner's conflict? Uh, the 49-year-old actor was accused by his ex of an attempted murder and suicide back in 2019. Holy fuck. Don't listen to this. This is gross. Hold up. Just ignore that last thing. Let me see if Jeremy Renner murder. Jesus Christ. Sorry, this took a dark turn. Accusations come from court documents obtained by TMZ and Renner and his ex-wife's custody battle over their six. Ugh. All right. Ugh. I don't know if that means. I mean, maybe Haley Steinfeld was like, "Hey, that whole thing you were gonna do was not cool, dude. Get along." Oof, guys, sorry. Ooh. It's all good, dude. Holy shit. I didn't wanna fuck y'all's vibe up. I'm intrigued. Yeah, no, okay, so JC Cook, um, this is an article from well, got discovered. But after finishing its production, rumors began to come out on Reddit that they didn't get along during the shoot. This person who reported it did report that Julia Louis-Dreyfus would appear in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so they've been correct before. But hey, even a fucking broken clock is right twice a day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, people. It means that even twice a day, a clock is right. It means that, like, even if you aren't even functioning, sometimes you're gonna be right. That's the way that expressions work. So I hope you got a lot out of that. So stupid. It's interesting that it was said that Seinfeld is the one with the beef against Renner, though, as it suggests, there's not a full-blown feud between the duo, but more that Renner's personality rubs Steinfeld the wrong way. Actually, it says rubs Steinfeld up the wrong way, which is an interesting way of putting that. Just rubbed her up the wrong way. I'd imagine any way that a 45-year-old man would rub up a 22-year-old would be the wrong way, but yeah, I mean, there were some serious allegations brought against him in 2019. I don't even remember that. I think, Disney's got those Shumagorath tentacles in all sorts of different industries. Everything from merchandise to media. So sometimes if you want to get something buried, I'd imagine they can help you with that. I imagine they got the shovel. You know what I mean? Awkward. Awkward. It's shooting McGore. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, you're right, Patrick McCabe. And you're right, Casey. Also, like, everybody, like, on both sides, they're gonna try to demonize or vilify the other person. That's what helps their case. I mean, who among us hasn't stuck a fucking gun in our mouth? You know what I mean? He wasn't in Infinity War. That's a very good point. It was released in 2018. Yeah, he might. Wow, I don't know. Yeah, you're right, Stephen Fraser, for sure. We could go on Reddit right now. I mean, if you guys are bored, we could go on Reddit right now and be like, "Hey, I caught a scoop that I mean, we could say some crazy shit. We could be like, "Hey, I caught a scoop that Venom's going to show up in the next Spider-Man movie." You know, like, just go with the rumor like that, like something that would never possibly even be true, you know? Casey, that's a great question, bro, but I think we all know the answer. Uh, it was the theories in WandaVision were fucking insane, dude. That series really lent itself to that. I mean, there were some good ones in Loki as far as theories. But yeah, WandaVision was fucking wild, dude. Yeah, yeah. Mephisto came back in Loki for a minute when they showed that stained glass of the Loki-esque character. So that kind of restarted the Mephisto pot there for a moment, and then we realized, like, nah, they didn't do that. But yeah, WandaVision had some wild fan theories, and I guess the least would have been Falcon and Winter Soldier because it really didn't lend itself to that too much. There was the X-Men coming in, there was the Fantastic Four showing up, and not just the Fantastic Four, fucking John Krasinski as Reed Richards. That was the specifics. And then there was there were some crazy theories. I'm trying to remember all of them. Yes, correct. Stephen Fraser. That's exact. That it was that specific. The other series didn't have as many theories specifically because of how WandaVision. Absolutely, that's fair as well. Go on Reddit. Power Rangers plan to replace the Avengers. Yeah, sure. And we might be able to report on our own story next week. You know what I mean? We should try that sometime. Just see, like, if we can put some bullshit out into the ether, see if it catches fire and that people take it literally. And then I can do a weird news report on the fact that we went and put a bullshit story into the ether and then it was reported on. Yeah, I agree, Nick Mayfield. I agree. I don't know how we can workshop this. I need to just get a Discord. Actually, I have a Discord. Movies are terrible on Discord. I haven't been on there in 100 years, but it's there. I'll come up with like a crazy theory. We have to create a username, go in there, do it under the username, or just yeah. We want to create a fake username because if they look for like me, they would be like, oh no, this guy's clearly a troll or doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So I'd have to be like, yeah, I work on the set of, or I work in the offices of Marvel Studios, and I overheard Kevin Feige the other day saying that they were going to bring the Power Rangers into the multiverse. Ashley Olsen. Yeah, dude. Oh my God. That's a really good one. Elizabeth Olsen being replaced with Ashley Olsen. She's the one that looks like a Gelfling, right? Oh, wait. That's both of them. They both look like Gelflings from Dark Crystal. Those Olsen twins. That was like my idea to have Matt and tell Holden he watched all of Clone Wars and now is a Star Wars fan. That's good. All the Avengers cast hate Brie Larson. I'm pretty sure that one's out there for sure. Look at the body language. We've got body language experts watching interviews where Brie Larson makes jokes and like you can see his shoulders pivoting away from her because she disgusts him. Trust me, I'm a body language expert. No, it's not like palm reading. Palm reading is for fucking new age hacks. What do you think? I'm a body language expert. It's basically like mathematics. You know what I mean? Like it is 100% accurate every time. That is all over Cosmic Book Movie News for sure. Cosmic Book News for sure. Yeah. I mean, technically the Power Rangers are a part of the multiverse. Yeah, I guess everything is. Man. Including us. We're part of the multiverse, and I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you guys are all here to be a part of it with me. And hopefully you will continue to stop by and support the YouTube channel. I am taking a look at things over the past couple of weeks and months and trying to get an idea of what the future for the channel looks like. And if you want to continue to support, then just follow me on that journey. That's the way that you can help the most. And we'll see where things take us. But I really do enjoy talking television and movies with you guys. It's always a pleasure. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. I'm Jeremy, and until the next time, be terrible.